topic which I am going to talk is even more important from the clinical and exam point of view. That is verruca. Verruca means wart. Okay, so this wart or verruca is intraepidermal tumor of the skin and mucosa, just like molluscum contagiosum. Tumor here is not the real neoplasia. This is just a swelling there or a small nodule. The causative agent of verruca or wart is human papillomavirus, HPV, and there are so many different type of variants available here. Okay, some of them can cause simple type of viral wart. Some of them may lead to anogenital wart. Some of them even lead to cancer development. So because of this topic is important for us. Now, regarding the types, okay, see here, they may be cutaneous, they may be anogenital or mucosal, or they may be epidermodysplasia verruciformis. This is an autosomal recessive type of disorder, which of course runs in the family. And in this condition, innumerable types of verruca or warts will be there in the patient. Means you cannot even count them. This is a very serious type of, or the most severe form of verruca or viral wart. So we are going to talk about this in today's class. Regarding the epidemiology, this verruca or viral wart, okay, are roughly divided into two types: non-genital or the genital, or anogenital, you can say. Now, non-genital warts are more common in children and the young adults, and anogenital are common in adolescent and adult, or even young adult can have this anogenital one, because this can be considered as a sexually transmitted infection. If they are practicing sexual intercourse or they are having sexual contact, unprotected one, then there is a chance of anogenital wart formation. Regarding the transmission, it can be transmitted through the direct skin contact. This is a very important point. See here. Now, let me talk about a bit of practical thing here. If one of our friend is having viral wart on his hand, okay, should we hesitate for the handshaking or not? Yes, should we shake hands with that guy who is having plenty of viral wart on his hand, or should we happily handshake? Any idea? Anybody?
No, sir, we can hesitate by handshaking. We can
Exactly.
Shouldn't
hesitate.
do handshake.
Exactly. You should hesitate. Okay. Once you see that type of viral wart, you should hesitate, because who knows? Maybe your skin is a bit damaged or breached on the hand, and through that area, the virus which is causing viral wart may enter inside. So better not to handshake with those people who are having viral wart. It can be transmitted through the direct skin contact. Another one is auto inoculation. Auto inoculation means the same patient is having the infection in him. Okay, for example, there is a viral infection on the hand. If this person is touching the other parts of the body with that hand, for example, on the face, a person is eating with that hand, probably viral growth may occur in other parts of the body also. This is the meaning. Vertical, from mother to the baby at the time of birth, is vertical, and sexual. This is the modality for anogenital wart. Now let's talk about anogenital or sexual type of wart. This is important, part of today's lecture. More than 40 human papillomavirus type can be easily spread through direct sexual contact, that is from the skin and mucous membrane of the infected person to the skin and mucous membrane of their partner, if they are practicing, unsafe type of intercourse. Means no contraceptions, especially the no condom is used there. They can be spread by vaginal, anal, or oral sex. It depends where is the lesion and what type of sex are they practicing. Other human papilloma virus types are responsible for non-genital wart, and these are not sexually transmitted. That's why we have roughly divided them into two types, anogenital warts and non-anogenital wart. Now, those non-anogenital wart, they are not sexually transmitted because they are different HPV strain. Now, see this slide is telling a little bit about them. These are the different types of viral wart. Verruca vulgaris is the most common type. Vulgaris means common in case of dermatology. So Verruca vulgaris is one. Another one is Verruca plana. Okay, it is Verruca plana. The third one is palmoplantar. See this? Verruca vulgaris, Verruca plana, palmoplantar. This is the most severe form, epidermodysplasia verruciformis, and the fifth one is anogenital wart. This Verruca vulgaris is caused commonly by these HPV type. There are so many, but these are the common one, 24 and 27. Verruca plana. Plana means flat. The flat type of warts, plana. These are by 3, 10, 28, and 49. Palmoplantar, palm and sole. Plantar means sole of the foot. Okay, these are the HPV type. Epidermodysplasia verruciformis by this type, 3, 5, and 8. And anogenital, from the exam point of view, this is important point, 6 and 11. So you don't need to remember all of this, but remember this anogenital wart causing HPV strain 6 and 11, because so many times this question has been asked in the exam. Okay, now all of you please focus on this slide. This is the pathogenesis of wart, means how wart are formed. What is the mechanism of their formation on the skin? Now what happens here? These are the skin cells. For example, this is epidermis and this is the dermis. Okay, dermis has blood vessels and nerves and different type structures, mainly connective tissue in nature. Now, once these epidermal cells are infected by human papillomavirus, these cells grow very fast. Okay, that's why they go upwards. Okay, they go upwards by growing very fast or multiplying very fast, and they are raised from the surface like this. They're raised from the surface. This is the mechanism of wart formation. Look at the classification here. Verruca vulgaris, palmoplantar, Verruca plana, filiform, epidermodysplasia verruciformis, and condyloma acuminata. This condyloma acuminata is also known as genital wart. And let's talk a little bit about each of them. Verruca vulgaris is the most common variety. Okay, most common one. In dermatology, vulgaris means common variety or the common type of lesion. So it is usually asymptomatic. There are no symptoms complained by the patient, but they are having lesion, especially on these areas like fingertips. Okay, especially on the fingertips on the side of the finger. They may be single or multiple. They are well circumscribed lesion. They are flesh colored. They are form papules. So during examination, they don't feel like cyst. They are form papules. They are well circumscribed, means I can feel all the border of this lesion, and they are having flesh colored. They are hyperkeratotic lesion, and they are elevated from the skin. This is known as verrucous lesion. Hyperkeratotic verrucous lesion. Some of them has black specks at the top or at the surface because of hemosiderin deposition. This hemosiderin is an iron containing pigment, and even without treatment, almost 60% of them resolve or disappear on their own. but it is advisable not to wait for the spontaneous resolution. They should seek medical management. Sight, they can occur anywhere, but more common are the hand. Okay, very, very common, and also occurs on the knees. But these knees here, they are hidden, isn't it, by the cloth, but hands are quite obvious to everyone. And it is advisable not to handshake with these people who are carrying warts on their finger, because it can be transmitted from one person to the other, especially if we are having some trivial type of trauma or break on our skin. So this is Verruca vulgaris. Let's move on. Another, look at this picture. See, this is very typical. This is a very, magnified view, highly suggestive of Verruca vulgaris, very, very common in clinical practice. Filiform warts are the other type. They are slender, okay, finger-like growth from the skin, and they are very common on the face and the neck area, especially on the forehead. So just a type of viral wart. Verruca plana, okay, means plain warts, So they are present on the face, neck, extensor aspect of the forearm, and even on the hand. They are again flesh colored, just like Verruca vulgaris. Okay, they are soft on palpation, and they are also discrete, means we can feel them individually one after other. Means all the border can be felt. They are not attached with each other. That is the meaning of discrete. Another type of variety is called palmar and plantar wart. You can see that these are a flat type. Okay, they are actually not elevated from the surface. They are a bit like a macule one, but a very thicker one. They are hyperkeratotic, form, okay, and flat type of warts. They can interrupt the natural skin line, means they can grow right over the natural skin creases or skin line, and some of them may have red or black capillary dot at the center as well. If multiple lesions of this type fuse with each other, we call them mosaic wart. And sometimes they may be painful also, when we wear slipper or shoes for a longer time, and we may feel irritation there, and they may cause pain. Because of this, sometimes we may confuse this with cone or callosity. Cone or callosities. These are considered as a differential diagnosis. Now, the most severe variety among the viral wart is known as epidermodysplasia verruciformis. This is actually inherited variety, and it is inherited in the form of autosomal recessive inheritance. Autosomal recessive. In this condition, there is chronic HPV infection. Probably, these patients are immunocompromised. So as a result of this human papillomavirus infection is very common in them. Tinea versicolor like plaque or flat top papules are seen most part of the body or the external surface of the body, and it doesn't look good at all. It may be present from the childhood, or it may be developed in the adulthood. Okay, now when we look at the picture, then you realize what we are talking about, because dermatology is the morphological diagnosis. So pictures are very essential here. See this. Look at this patient here. This patient is having very severe type of warts. Look at the hand. Look at the forearm. Even the face. On the face, they look more like a macular type, but here they definitely plaque type, elevated from the surface. And treatment of this is very, very difficult. Wow, what type of medicine we give, isn't it? We need a large amount of topical medicine if we give, or even the surgical treatment is very, very challenging. Now, another type is called anogenital wart or condyloma acuminata. Anogenital wart or condyloma acuminata. Now, let's talk about that. These anogenital wart are sexually transmitted type of human papillomavirus infection. they can cause Bowenoid papulosis. Okay, Bowenoid papulosis. This is a special term in surgery. This means wart is present in the penis. Okay, in the penis. If wart is present because of human papillomavirus, we call this Bowen's disease or Bowenoid papulosis. It is also known as erythroplasia of Queyrat or squamous cell carcinoma in situ and Bowen's disease. So these are the multiple synonyms for that. Erythroplasia means it looks red. Okay, squamous cell carcinoma in situ. It has not crossed the basement membrane, but the malignant cells are already there, and Bowen's disease is another name. All of these are caused by human papillomavirus. So one of the extra point you have learned here, human papillomavirus not only causes cervical cancer in female, it also causes penile cancer in male. It leads to soft, friable, and vegetating clusters of the lesion. Spontaneous resolution can occur, but sometimes, okay, they may lead to cancerous development as well. In female, obstruction of labor has been caused by large genital lesion. The cases have been reported. Even they have caused obstruction of labor because of the large warts, okay, on the genital area. And they are more common in immunosuppressed condition. See this, look at this picture here. These are the genital wart in male, okay, on the penis. There are many different types of genital wart. Here, one is here, another is here, another is here, and here is also present. And this is the perianal wart. Both of these are sexually transmitted infection. Now, let's talk something more about this. The sexually transmitted human papillomavirus fall into two categories. They are known as low risk human papillomavirus infection and high risk human papillomavirus infection. Now, risk is all about how much risk is there for the causation of cancer. If these are cancer causing type of strain, then we call them high risk. Okay, if they do not cause cancer but just lead to genital infection, these are low risk. So low risk human papillomavirus, they do not cause cancer but can cause skin wart, which are known as condyloma acuminata. On or around the genital, anus, mouth, or even on the throat. It depends on the contact. Okay, if those surface comes in contact with the lesion, then in those areas also these viral warts may be developed. For example, human papillomavirus type 6 and 11. Remember, 6 and 11 commonly asked in MCQ exam causes 90% of all genital wart. Okay, and these 6 and 11 also cause recurrent respiratory papillomatosis, which is quite common in some children. And this recurrent respiratory papillomatosis can lead to obstruction in the airway, especially in the laryngeal area. And some of them may also develop into tumor later on. Okay, tumor, but these are usually benign tumor. They do not grow into the malignant one. But having said that, there are certain types of human papillomavirus which are also implicated in head and neck malignancy. These days, different researchers have proved that human papillomavirus are the causes of head and neck malignancy as well. Don't forget that. So these papillomatosis, these are benign, but they themselves can lead to malignancy by some other strain. Whereas type 16 and 18 are highly carcinogenic. Now, these anogenital wart, you see there, the most high risk human papillomavirus infection, they occur without any symptom and they go away within 1 to 2 years and do not cause cancer. Okay, so they do not cause cancer. Even if they are caused by the same strain, Okay, they are caused by the same strain, they do not cause cancer. It means you understand like this, all the patients who are infected with those 16 and 18, all of them will not get cancer here. They do not. Okay, many of them will be fine within 1 to 2 years. But some of them will have a persistence of the lesion for many years, and these are the one who progress to the cancer. So we cannot pinpoint who are those people. Probably some type of genetic predisposition also lies there. That's why otherwise it's very difficult to explain why some of the people develop cancer with the same strain and why other do not develop the cancer. High risk human papillomavirus cause several types of cancer. Okay, the name you already know. Let's just list them now. Very important question in the exam. Cervical cancer in female. Okay, this is carcinoma of the cervix. Remember, in South Asia, from where we belong, most of us, we have got some African student also, but majority of us are from South Asia, and in our part of the world, carcinoma cervix is the commonest type of cancer which occur in female. And HPV 16 and 18 are responsible for about 70% of all cases of cervical cancer. Absolutely important knowledge. Anal cancer. About 95% of anal cancer are caused by HPV type 16. Okay, so this is also one other type now. Oropharyngeal, or you can call it head and neck cancer, like soft palate, base of the tongue, and even the tonsils, even the esophagus, or pharynx. About 70% of these are caused by type 16 again. And sometimes very rare cancer like vaginal cancer, vulval cancer, and even penile cancer are associated with them. So these are some of the important points regarding anogenital wart. So let me summarize this thing. Maybe you get a bit confused here. All strain which cause anogenital infections are not carcinogenic. The first thing, majority of them, they just develop condyloma acuminata and they do not progress into malignancy, and they are mainly caused by serotype 16, sorry, 6 and 11, 6 and 11. Whereas serotype 16 and 18, they are usually carcinogenic. But having said that, all of the people who get that infection also will not progress into cancer. Okay, but some of them do, and probably genetic predisposition play a role there. And then what are the cancer which are caused by them? Cervical cancer, anal cancer, oropharyngeal one, and some rarer cancer like vaginal, vulval, or penile. Now we are coming towards the end of this topic. What are the differential diagnosis of wart? What are the other conditions which look like wart? See here. One of that is molluscum contagiosum. We have discussed this in the last class. Now, what is the hallmark of molluscum contagiosum? How it looks? Yes?
Umbilicated.
Very good. Umbilicated papule. Umbilicated papule means when I look at the center of those papule or nodule, there is a slight depression at the center. This is the hallmark of molluscum contagiosum. Excellent. Another differential diagnosis is Crohn's. Okay. Now see there, what do you mean by that? These cones are callus of dead skin that usually occurs on thin, hairless, and smooth skin surface, especially on the dorsal surface of the toes or finger. Exactly like this, which is shown in the picture, like this here. These are called cones, and they can sometimes occur on the thicker palmar or plantar skin surface, but they are rare. They are mainly present on the smooth and hairless skin in these areas. A bit look like wart, isn't it? A flat type of wart. So that's why they are confused. Okay. Now, finally, what is the treatment here? See this? Every student should know about the treatment because this is very common type of clinical problem. One is surgical excision. You completely remove it. But if there are large number of wart, this type of treatment is difficult one. Another is electrodesiccation. You destroy that with electrocoagulation and then curettage. This is one of the options. Cryotherapy, destruction by liquid nitrogen or cryotherapy is the another one. Cryo is cold therapy with liquid nitrogen and it will destroy those lesions. Another is keratolytic agent. Apply salicylic acid 5 to 20% salicylic acid every day until and unless that thing is disappeared. Another type of treatment is called podophyllum resin or podophyllene resin, whatever you want to say, in 25% tincture benzoin. So this is just applied on the wart area, okay, just on the surface. But be careful, do not apply on the normal skin, otherwise it will burn that skin as well. This is also used in the treatment of molluscum contagiosum. And another is trichloroacetic acid, 50 to 80%. So this is another chemical material or solution which can be applied on the wart. These are some of the treatment options we have.